The large meeting room fell silent as Ambassador Paul Gardner stood up from his chair. The alien representatives watched him with their various eyes, some blinking in confusion. After 20 years of talks with the Galactic Confederation, no one expected what came next. On behalf of Earth and all human colonies, I must inform you that we are withdrawing from these negotiations, Gardner said calmly. His voice did not shake. His face showed no anger. He simply gathered his papers and nodded to his team. The alien delegates erupted in noise. Some stood up, waving their limbs. Others turned colors in distress. The Confederation had never faced such a situation before. High Delegate Xylos, with his blue skin and 4 arms, rushed toward Gardner. Ambassador, please, whatever concerns you have, we can address them. The Confederation values humanity's participation. Gardner paused, looking directly at Xylos. For 20 years, we've shared our culture, our science, our resources. For 20 years, we followed your rules and waited for equal membership. Now we know you never intended to grant it. Back on Earth, President Olivia Martinez stood before the world's cameras. Her dark hair was pulled back, her expression serious but calm. People of Earth, today I confirm that humanity has withdrawn from all talks with the Galactic Confederation, she announced. Our intelligence services have discovered that while delaying our admission, the Confederation has secretly harvested Earth's unique biological materials without permission or payment. Screens worldwide showed images of alien ships collecting rare plants from protected areas, taking water samples from deep oceans, and gathering DNA from wildlife reserves. We gave them friendship, Martinez continued. They gave us empty promises while taking what they wanted. Today, we choose to stand alone rather than kneel as servants. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the United Earth Defense Council gathered in their secure chamber. General William Perry displayed a holographic map of human positions throughout Confederation space. Protocol Exodus is now active, Perry said, his voice firm. All human citizens have 72 hours to return to Earth-controlled space. All trading ships must complete final deliveries and withdraw. Colonel Maria Diaz raised her hand. Sir, the Confederation has grown dependent on several Earth exports. This withdrawal will cause significant disruption. That's the point, Colonel, replied Admiral Frank Boyd, an older man with gray hair and sharp eyes. They need to understand what they're losing. Boyd turned to his communication officer. Send encrypted orders to all Earth fleet vessels. Secure our solar system. Any approaching Confederation ships are to be warned once, then escorted away. No exceptions. On the Confederation capital world, Economic Minister Harold Watson sat across from the Trade Council. The alien delegates watched nervously as he placed a data crystal on the table. This contains termination notices for all trade agreements, technology exchanges, and scientific partnerships between Earth and the Confederation, Watson said simply, effective immediately. The Xanthi representative, a tall insect-like being, clicked its mandibles in distress. This is madness. Your planet's coffee alone supports the economies of 3 star systems. Watson stood up, straightening his jacket. You should have thought of that before you decided humans were good enough to trade with, but not good enough to join as equals. As Watson and his staff walked toward their shuttle, whispers spread through the Confederation complex. By morning, prices for human goods would triple. By the end of the week, panic buying would empty every warehouse of Earth products. Aboard the flagship Nebraska, Ambassador Gardner looked at the blue-green image of Earth growing larger on the view screen. For the first time in decades, no alien ships orbited his homeworld. The space belonged to humans again. Do you think they'll come after us? Asked his assistant. Gardner shook his head. No, they'll beg us to come back. And when they do, the terms will be very different. Behind them, Earth's defense grid was already expanding. The isolation had begun, and the galaxy was about to learn just how much it needed humanity. Lisa Donovan checked her tablet one last time. The loading bay of her merchant ship Carolina was packed with human travelers. Some sat on luggage, Others leaned against walls. All watched the clock. "That's everyone from Proxima Station," Lisa told her first officer. "Last group of civilians in this sector." Through the large windows, they could see the bustling alien station. Word was spreading. Alien merchants rushed between shops, their voices rising in panic as they discovered human goods vanishing from shelves. "Captain, look," said the first officer, pointing to a group of Cindy traders arguing over a small bag. "That's the last pound of coffee beans on the station. They're offering a small fortune for it." Lisa shook her head. "Protocol Exodus doesn't wait for business opportunities. Seal the doors. We leave in 10 minutes. Across Confederation space, the same scene played out thousands of times. Human diplomats closed embassies. Scientists packed up labs. Tourists cut vacations short. Students left famous alien universities. All disappeared quietly, methodically, without explanation. On the luxury world of Nova Prime, wealthy aliens gather outside the closed doors of Earth House, the famous restaurant run by Chef George Miller. A handwritten sign simply read, "Permanently closed. Thank you for your patronage." Inside, Miller carefully packed his cooking tools. Earth spices worth more than gold were sealed in secure containers. His alien assistant Zerk watched sadly. "The Trulaxians will riot when they learn your restaurant is gone," Zerk said. "They travel across 3 systems just to taste your apple pie." Miller smiled slightly. "Maybe they should have supported our membership bid then." In deep space, Earth's communication network changed overnight. Convoys that had connected humans to alien worlds for decades went silent. The frequencies used for interspecies messages broadcast only one short statement: "Earth communications temporarily unavailable." Admiral Boyd watched the reports from his command center on Luna. "How many of our people are still out there?" he asked. "None, sir," replied his officer. "The Carolina just crossed into our space 10 minutes ago. All humans accounted for." Boyd nodded. "Cut the remaining links. Complete the silence." On the Confederation capital world Nexus Prime, the Trade Council meeting hall was filled beyond capacity. Representatives from 27 species demanded answers. Economic Minister Harold Watson stood calmly at the center. "As I explained, all agreements between Earth and the Confederation are terminated," Watson repeated. "This includes food exports, mineral rights, technology sharing, and cultural exchanges." The Draxian representative, a tall gray being with crystal eyes, stepped forward. "This is outrageous. Our neural networks rely on Earth copper. Without your specific type, our systems will fail within months." "Perhaps you should have considered that before supporting the delays to our membership," Watson replied. A smaller green alien pushed through the crowd. "What about our students at your universities? The joint research projects? The medical treatments only humans can provide?" Watson gathered his notes. "All suspended. Earth is closing its borders to all Confederation species until further notice." Before they could ask more questions, Watson and his staff left the room. The sound of their footsteps echoed in the stunned silence. By the time the aliens rushed to follow, the human shuttle had already departed. In Earth orbit, President Martinez watched the last diplomatic vessel dock. Ambassador Gardner stepped onto Earth soil for the first time in 3 years. "Is it done?" she asked. Gardner nodded. "Complete withdrawal. The galaxy is already feeling it. And our defenses. Growing stronger every day," Gardner replied. "We've hidden our true technological capabilities for years. The Confederation has no idea what we can really do." Martinez looked at the starry view screen. "How long before they come begging?" 3 months, maybe less," Gardner said. "They've grown too dependent on us. Now they'll learn that humans aren't just another species to exploit." As Earth's isolation began, the first panicked messages from alien worlds already flooded the now silent communication channels. The galaxy was about to discover just how important humanity really was. 3 months into Earth's silence, Alan Pierce stood at the large observation window on Luna Base. Earth hung like a blue jewel against the blackness of space. Around it, new defense platforms moved into position, their construction ahead of schedule. As former cultural attaché to the Confederation, Alan had spent years introducing alien species to human art, music, and literature. Now he reviewed reports from deep space listening posts that painted a startling picture. "Sir," said his assistant, "you should see this." The screen showed footage from a market on Centauri Prime. Alien creatures fought over small packages of what appeared to be ordinary items. The translation read, "Last known supply of human chocolate causes riot. 3 injured. Price now equivalent to rare gems." Alan nodded. "And the other reports?" "Similar situations across 17 systems. The Draxian neural networks are failing without Earth's special copper. 3 agricultural worlds that relied on our fertilizer technology are reporting crop failures." On another screen, alien news broadcasts debated Earth's withdrawal. One blue-skinned commentator appeared especially agitated. "It is not just resources," the alien said. "Human music is now the most valuable entertainment in the galaxy. A single human painting sold yesterday for enough to purchase a small moon. We never realized how much we craved their creativity." Alan turned as Nicole Bailey entered the room. As Earth's chief intelligence officer, she monitored all approaching ships. "Another Confederation scout?" Alan asked. Nicole nodded. "Third one this week. They're getting more desperate to make contact." The screen showed a sleek alien vessel approaching Earth's outer defense perimeter. 4 human ships surrounded it, escorting it firmly, but peacefully away from restricted space. "They keep testing our resolve," Nicole said, "and our technology." "Let them look," Alan replied. "Our ships are faster and more advanced than anything we showed them before. Let them see what we've been hiding." In her laboratory beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Diane Palmer reviewed progress reports from research teams worldwide. Without Confederation restrictions on certain fields of study, human scientists were making breakthroughs at an astonishing pace. "Team 7 has stabilized the quantum field," reported her assistant. "Energy output is 300% higher than anything in Confederation records." Diane smiled. "And the propulsion project?" "Success. The new drive can reach Alpha Centauri in 3 days instead of 3 weeks. We've kept that capability hidden for years because the Confederation banned the research." On Mars Colony, Governor Chris Rogers addressed the growing community of settlers. Behind him, the massive dome of New Houston gleamed in the red sunlight. "Our independence has accelerated our development," he announced. "With Earth's full support and without alien interference, Mars will be fully self-sufficient in 5 years instead of 20. The crowd cheered. A child raised her hand. "When will the aliens come back?" Rogers smiled. "They already want to. But this time, they'll need to meet our terms." In deep space, the first signs of conflict between alien species emerge. A Xanthi trading fleet refused to share its stockpile of human coffee with Draxian ships. Weapons were fired. Both sides claimed the other attacked first. Admiral Boyd reviewed the footage with President Martinez in the secure war room. 3 such incidents this week," Boyd reported. "Without human goods to trade, old rivalries are flaring up. The Confederation is struggling to maintain order." Martinez studied the galactic map where red dots indicated points of conflict. "And our intelligence suggests these tensions will grow." "Rapidly," Boyd confirmed. "Some species have become completely dependent on us. Now they're fighting over what remains." Outside the meeting room, construction crews worked day and night building Earth's new defensive grid. Engineer Joe Freeman checked the power readings on the massive shield generator. The technology had existed in Earth labs for years, but had been kept secret from alien eyes. "Power at full capacity," he reported to his team. "If they come looking for trouble instead of talks, they'll find we're not the same humans they pushed around before." As Earth entered its 4th month of isolation, 17 Confederation species had sent private requests to reopen negotiations. Earth had acknowledged none of them. The waiting game continued. and Earth was winning. 6 months into humanity's withdrawal, the Galactic Confederation called an emergency session. All 93 member species sent representatives to the Great Hall on Nexus Prime. The mood was tense. High Council Chair Xylox, a tall being with golden skin and 4 arms, stood at the center platform. The camera drones hovered around him, broadcasting his image across thousands of worlds. "We face an unprecedented crisis," Xylox announced, his voice echoing through the vast chamber. "The human withdrawal has destabilized our economy, disrupted supply chains, and created shortages of critical resources." The assembled delegates murmured in agreement. Some held personal devices showing market crashes and food riots on their homeworlds. "Today, I must acknowledge what many have suspected," Xylox continued. "The Confederation gravely underestimated humanity's importance to galactic stability. Our decision to delay their full membership was a serious error." On Earth, in the Underground Defense Council chamber, General Samuel Washington watched the broadcast with his team. The intercepted feed came through clearly on the large screen. Finally admitting it, Washington said, leaning back in his chair, "Only took half a year of economic collapse." His intelligence officer highlighted part of the screen. "Sir, notice the Draxian, Centauri, and Volox representatives. All 3 species are now engaged in armed conflict over resource routes that humans once managed." Washington nodded. "The old rivalries we helped them overcome are back. Without our diplomacy and trade, they're falling apart." In her laboratory complex beneath Geneva, Diane Palmer presented her findings to President Martinez and the Science Directorate. Holographic displays showed comparison charts of technological development. "These green lines show our progress under Confederation restrictions," Palmer explained, pointing to the slowly rising curves. "The blue lines show our advancements since withdrawal." The blue lines shot upward at steep angles, far outpacing the green projections. "In 6 months, we've achieved what would have taken 15 years under their rules," Palmer continued. "Our new energy systems are 3 generations beyond anything in the Confederation. Our medical technology has cured 2 diseases they claimed were incurable." Martinez studied the charts. "They held us back deliberately." "Yes, Madam President. The Confederation has kept certain technologies restricted to founding species only. We were never going to be allowed access." On the Mars colony, mining engineer Carl Rogers led a team into the newly excavated tunnel. Their lights revealed glittering veins of a bright blue mineral in the red rock. "Confirmation on the scan," said his assistant. "This is the largest deposit of quantium ever discovered. The Confederation claimed it was the rarest element in the galaxy." Carl ran his scanner over the shimmering blue crystals, and they said Mars was resource poor, just another lie to keep us dependent on them. The scanner beeped, displaying its results. Carl whistled. "Pure enough to power our entire defense grid for a century. No wonder they never helped us develop Mars." Back in Earth orbit, Admiral Boyd toured the newest addition to Earth's fleet, the massive ship dwarf all previous human vessels. Construction teams worked around the clock, attaching the final armor plates to its hull. "Our first true battleship," Boyd told his officers, "built with technology we developed in secret while pretending to follow Confederation restrictions." His second-in-command looked up at the enormous vessel. "Does she have a name yet, sir?" "Defiance," Boyd replied. "A reminder of how we got here." In the diplomatic center in New Geneva, Ambassador Gardner reviewed the latest messages from alien worlds. The stack of diplomatic requests had grown to over 60. "They're offering more concessions each day," Gardner told his team. "The Xanthi are offering exclusive mining rights to their moon. The Draxians promised to share their neural technology." His assistant sorted through the offers. "Should we respond to any of them?" "Not yet," Gardner said. "Let them worry a bit longer. They need to understand that humans won't return to the old arrangement." Outside, Earth's cities glowed with light and activity. Without the drain of supporting the Confederation, human worlds were prospering. In 6 short months, humanity had grown stronger than in the previous 20 years. and the galaxy was beginning to understand just who they had pushed aside. 1 year after Earth's withdrawal, the long-range sensors at Pluto Station detected a large ship approaching the solar system. Unlike the small scout vessels that had tested Earth's borders for months, this was an official Confederation diplomatic cruiser. "They've arrived exactly at the edge of our defensive perimeter," reported Officer Steve Miller to Admiral Boyd. "They're broadcasting on all channels, requesting permission to approach Earth." Boyd studied the ship's design. It was the Stellar Harmony, the personal vessel of the Confederation High Council Chair. They sent their most important leader. Impressive. President Martinez convened her advisory council in the underground chambers of New Geneva. The room was quiet as they watched footage of the waiting alien ship. After a year of silence, they finally sent a proper delegation, Martinez said. "Intelligence report." Chief Negotiator Greg Foster stood up. "The message is simple. The Confederation formally requests Earth's return to the galactic community. They're offering unprecedented concessions, including a permanent seat on the High Council." Intelligence Director Susan Wallace added, "Our deep space monitoring indicates 17 Confederation worlds now face severe economic depression. 3 systems have reported food shortages. The Draxian neural network has collapsed entirely." Martinez turned to Ambassador Gardner. "Your assessment?" "They're desperate," Gardner replied. "But this is just their opening offer. They'll give much more if we wait." "And our position?" Martinez asked. Defense Minister Richard Coleman displayed the latest military readiness report. "Our fleet now includes 32 capital ships built with our new technology. The defense grid around Earth, Mars, and the Moon colonies is complete. We're in the strongest position humans have ever held." On Mars colony, the citizens gathered in the central dome of New Houston. Administrator Jack Russell stood on the platform as voting screens lit up around the vast chamber. "People of Mars," Russell announced, "the Confederation diplomatic vessel waits at the edge of our system. The question before us is simple. Do we accept their initial offer of renewed membership?" The voting took less than 5 minutes. The result displayed on the giant screen, 89% against accepting the offer. Russell nodded. "The people have spoken. Mars stands with Earth. We will not return to second-class status." Similar votes took place on lunar colonies, orbital stations, and throughout Earth's cities. The result was the same everywhere. Humanity had tasted true independence and had no desire to surrender it. In her private office, President Martinez met with her most trusted advisors. The room was secure, protected from any possible surveillance. "We'd received private messages from 5 Confederation species," reported Foreign Secretary Andrew Phillips. "They wish to form separate agreements with Earth, outside Confederation control." Martinez raised an eyebrow. "The Confederation is fracturing." "It appears so," Phillips confirmed. "The Xanthi, Volok's, and 3 others have suggested they might leave the Confederation entirely if we would agree to exclusive partnerships." "This is unprecedented," Gardner said. "The Confederation has stood united for over 3,000 years." Defense Minister Coleman smiled slightly. "Until they met us." Martinez considered this information. "How should we respond to the waiting delegation?" Foster leaned forward. "Make them wait another week. Let them see our unity through the public votes. Then invite only their top representative to Luna Base, not Earth itself. Show them we negotiate from strength, not need." In Earth orbit, the newly commissioned defense platform Freedom rotated slowly, its massive energy cannons gleaming in the sunlight. Captain Linda Clark inspected the weapon systems with her engineering team. "Power levels at maximum," reported her chief engineer. "Defense shield capable of withstanding any known Confederation weapon." Clark nodded with satisfaction. "Perfect timing. I want the aliens to see this when they approach." "Do you think they'll try something foolish?" asked the engineer. "No," Clark replied. "They need us more than we ever needed them, but there's no harm in reminding them of that fact." As the waiting game continued, Earth's citizens watched the stars with new confidence. For the first time, Humanity would meet alien species as equals, or perhaps as something more. The tables had turned, and now it was Earth's turn to set the terms. 18 months after humanity's withdrawal, the neutral station Harmony Point hosted the first official meeting between Earth and the Confederation. The station orbited in the space between Luna and Earth, newly built for this purpose. Ambassador Paul Gardner led the human delegation. His team included scientists, military officers, and economic advisors. Their faces showed calm confidence as they entered the large meeting chamber. The Confederation representatives, led by newly appointed Special Envoy Trix, appeared visibly relieved just to have humans back at the negotiating table. Trix was a tall, slender being with purple skin and large, expressive eyes that couldn't hide his anxiety. On behalf of the 93 species of the Galactic Confederation, I thank you for agreeing to these talks, Trix began, his translator converting his musical language to English. Gardner simply nodded and opened his datapad. I will now present Earth's terms for renewed contact with the Confederation. The room grew still as Gardner spoke. First, full disclosure of all Confederation secrets and restricted technologies. Second, equal standing for all human colonies. Third, unrestricted travel rights throughout Confederation space. Fourth, complete technological exchange between all species. Trix's purple skin paled slightly. These terms are unprecedented. So was our withdrawal. Gardner replied evenly. You have lived without humanity for 18 months. You have seen the results. These are our terms. At that moment, Gardner activated a small device on the table. A holographic display appeared in the center of the room, showing a three-dimensional model of a communication system. During our isolation period, Earth developed this technology, Gardner explained. It allows instant communication across any distance. Your scientists claimed this was impossible. The alien delegates whispered among themselves in shock. Faster-than-light communication had been sought for thousands of years. This is just one of many breakthroughs we achieved without Confederation restrictions. Gardner continued, we are prepared to share this technology, if our terms are met. Meanwhile, at the edge of the solar system, Captain Ryan Burton of the Earth vessel Michigan monitored 3 unmarked ships approaching from Confederation space. They moved quickly, clearly hoping to avoid detection, while the negotiations distracted Earth's defense forces. Unidentified vessels, Burton broadcast, you are entering restricted space. Halt your approach immediately. The ships accelerated instead, weapons systems powering up. Burton remained calm. Activate containment field, he ordered his crew. The Michigan's new technology created an energy bubble around the intruding ships. Inside the field, their engines suddenly lost power. The ships drifted helplessly. No need for destructive force, Burton told his weapons officer. Let's show them our new capabilities. Using tractor beams, the Michigan gently captured all 3 vessels. Within hours, they were secured in Earth's custody, their crews unharmed but confined. Back at the negotiations, Gardner received word of the incident. Without showing any reaction, he continued discussing trade terms with Envoy Trix. When the meeting took a brief recess, Intelligence Director Wallace approached Gardner with the news. The intruders were from the Draxian military, Wallace explained. They were attempting to scan our new defense systems while we were distracted with talks. Gardner nodded. Have Captain Burton return their ships and crews safely to Confederation space. Include a message. Humanity will not be exploited or threatened again. When negotiations resumed, Gardner added a new term to the list. 5th condition. Recognition of Earth's sovereign defense zone, extending to the edge of our solar system. Envoy Trix looked uncomfortable, but nodded. The High Council anticipated this request. We are prepared to accept. In New Geneva, President Martinez watched the negotiations via secure feed. Her advisors gathered around the table, analyzing every word from the Confederation representatives. They're agreeing too easily, noted Chief Negotiator Foster. They must be truly desperate. Martinez smiled slightly. They had a taste of a galaxy without humans. It wasn't pleasant for them. Defense Minister Coleman added, "And we had a taste of independence. We won't surrender it easily." As day one of negotiations concluded, both sides prepared for more detailed discussions. The Confederation representatives sent urgent messages back to their leadership, while Earth's team analyzed every proposal carefully. The balance of power had shifted permanently. Humanity would never again be the junior partner in galactic affairs. 2 years after humanity walked away from the Confederation, a historic ceremony took place on Luna. Representatives from 23 species gathered in the Grand Hall of the newly constructed Unity Complex. The Earth-like gravity and atmosphere had been adjusted to accommodate all visitors. President Olivia Martinez stood at the center platform, looking out at the diverse gathering of alien beings. Some had tentacles, others wings. Some breathed different gases through special masks. All had chosen to join the new alliance. "Today marks the beginning of the Galactic Cooperative Union," Martinez announced. "Unlike the old Confederation, this alliance stands on principles of true equality, shared knowledge, and mutual respect." The alien representatives applauded in their various ways. None looked more pleased than the 5 species who had been the first to break away from the Confederation to join with humans. Ambassador Gardner watched from the side of the hall. "2 years ago, they wouldn't even give us full membership," he said quietly to Admiral Boyd. "Now they follow our lead." Boyd nodded. Nothing teaches better than consequences. The treaty signing proceeded with each species adding their mark to the document. Earth did not join the old Confederation. Instead, they had created something new, with humanity as a founding member. In the Earth Orbital Command Center, Susan Wallace monitored ships arriving for the ceremony. "Traffic control reports vessels from 32 worlds in the approach lanes," she told her team. "More arrive every hour." Her assistant pointed to a separate screen showing economic data. "Look at the market readings. Galactic trade is already responding to the new alliance. Stability is returning after 2 years of chaos." Kate Simmons, Earth's economic advisor, walked through the busy trading floor of New Chicago. Alien merchants mixed with human traders, negotiating deals for Earth goods that had been absent from galactic markets for 2 years. "Remember," Kate instructed her team, "controlled reintroduction only. Coffee exports limited to 1,000 tons this quarter. Chocolate restricted to premium grade only. We prevent the economic shocks that followed our withdrawal." A Xanthi trader approached, his insect-like features showing respect. "Economic advisor, my world offers triple the standard price for early shipping allocation." Kate smiled but shook her head. "The schedule ensures market stability for all members. No special treatment, even at higher prices. That's how the new union differs from the old ways." On Mars, Dr. Ben Collins led a team of mixed-species researchers through the new science facility. Alien scientists worked alongside humans, studying the quantum technology developed during Earth's isolation. "The shared research program begins with medical applications," Collins explained. "Our quantum scanning technology can detect diseases across all known species. Treatment protocols will follow." A Volok scientist raised a tentacle. "Under the Confederation, such technology would have been restricted to founding members only. This approach is refreshing." Collins nodded. "Knowledge benefits everyone when shared. That's the foundation of our new alliance." In Earth orbit, the massive space station Harmony rotated slowly. Admiral Boyd stood on the observation deck, watching ships from dozens of worlds move through the busy lanes around Earth. "Hard to believe what 2 years has changed," said Captain Linda Clark, joining him at the window. Boyd pointed to a Confederation diplomatic vessel moving slowly past the station. "They still exist, with reduced membership. They'll adapt or fade away." "Do you think they've learned their lesson?" Clark asked. "They've learned that humanity isn't just another minor species to be exploited," Boyd replied. "And we've learned something too." "What's that, sir?" "Sometimes you have to walk away to find your true strength." As the celebration continued on Luna, Earth glowed blue and beautiful in the black sky. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not by begging for acceptance, but by demanding respect. The galaxy had changed fundamentally, not through war or conquest, but because one species had the courage to walk away and the wisdom to return on their own terms. Across human colonies, citizens looked to the stars with new confidence. The future would bring challenges, but humanity would face them as equals in the galactic community they had helped remake. The talks had failed, but humanity had won.